Thank you for downloading another edition of the Saturday Drop-In here on Highland Hospital Radio. On today's show, your usual features of Guess the Year, Beat Detective, Eurovision themed This or That, and our special guest this week was Kirsty Adam from Red Chair Highland.
I love Kirsty.
She is awesome.
I want her here every week.
Yeah, she was so bubbly and so great at talking about the services that Red Chair Highland provide. You're going to really enjoy her interview. So stick around for that. Also, no doubt some mopping up afterwards. Catching up on the bits that we maybe had to cut short on the show as a podcast extra. And don't forget, as a podcast listener, you have your own special email address, which is socials@hhr.scot. Feel free to email us on that with any questions or anything you want to talk about. And also, don't forget to follow us on all the social media links, whether it's follow, like, subscribe, and of course, share the podcast with your friends and, even your enemies as well. Going to click record and actually record the show. How does that sound?
Oh, that would be a good idea.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. Can you tell it's been a busy morning?
Oh, I know. Even though it's live radio, we're just going to say, welcome along to the Saturday Drop-In. As if we've just started.
Yeah.
It's 4.5 minutes past 12 and we are live here at Raigmore. Yes, of course we're live because we would have edited out that nonsense. It's the 17th of May and it's still toasty warm outside.
It's great.
Oh, it is great.
Blue skies.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
I'm sure we need some rain sometime soon though. That's the only thing.
I've got a hose.
Yeah, but where does the water come from, Shannon?
The hose. Comes from the tap.
You need to discuss this. Yeah, it's so toasty warm, and there's some discussions about, maybe don't have a bath, have a shower, short showers instead.
Yeah. I can give you some advice that they do in New Zealand.
I'm all ears.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
I don't think you are. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, frost it down. That's what they do in droughts. You're welcome. Welcome to the Saturday Drop-In.
Welcome to the Saturday Drop-In. Shall we tell you what's coming up today?
Yes,
it's not all toilet humour. A large percentage of it is toilet humour, but it's not all toilet humour. Coming up on today's show, it's your usual features. We've got Guess the Year coming up in just a moment's time with 100% accurate clues. The end of the show is the Your Beat Detective, where we've picked a song. Well, we've not picked it. The computer system picks a song. We then pick some clues to try and guide you towards what the final song of the show is.
And it's an absolute tune.
Oh, it is. Have you checked already,
Not
have you?
like we should be looking forward to the last song of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Also, This or That this week has... Well, we can't not ignore the fact that it's Eurovision tonight.
It is.
So, This or That this week is Europop or Euroflop.
Okay.
Where,
I really don't know my Eurovision that much.
well, don't worry, because I've made it relatively simple.
Thank you.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is only a 50-50 quiz, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you are going to decide the songs. I've got 10 songs.
Yes.
They're all UK entries in the Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh, and I have to know whether they were good or bad.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're going with top 5 or out of the top 5.
Top 5 of the UK
As in
tracks?
where they finished.
Oh, right.
And
okay.
where they finished in the rankings.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, Eurovision.
But
Not
so there's
charts.
10 questions. So normally
Okay.
it would be out of 10. Let me tell you, it's out of 12 today because there's bonus points available, Shannon.
Ooh.
You will be able to call out one winner.
Okay.
There is one winner in the list.
Right.
And there is one nul point in the list.
As
so
in,
if
like,
you
they
say
got 0 points.
correct.
Okay, like
So-
last year.
Yeah. So if you say, I'm saying that that's a Euroflop and I'm using my one and only chance to say that that's the nul point, if you get that right, you get 2 points.
Ah, so it's kind of like a joker in a way.
There's a
is it?
joker, yeah. You only get to call it once.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't lose any points. So if it is a flop but not a nul point, you still get a point for the flop.
Okay, you just don't get the extra.
You just don't get the extra
That's
point, but you
fine.
only get to use
Yeah.
it once. That's what's important.
I like that.
And we've also got a guest coming up today.
I'm really excited for this one.
We are actually really buzzing about this guest because it's a really interesting topic. We're going to be talking about digital inclusion. What does that mean? Well, you'll need to stick around until about 12:30 when our guest joins us live here in the studio. So, lots for you to enjoy. We'll have a bit more chat and banter.
Banter. Gotta love a bit of banter.
Monitored content is coming up after Kelly Clarkson. It's called Where Is Your Heart?
It's in my chest.
It's there. It's
right there. On the left.
Got it. Hospital Radio.
Kelly Clarkson, Where Is Your Heart? As we just said, it's on the left-hand side, just on
yes,
a
it
little
is.
bit.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is a Saturday drop, and Guess the Year is on its way. A guest has come in early.
Which
Amazing.
Is good. Which we're pleased about.
Perfect planning. It's incredible. So Kirsty from Red Chair Highland is going to be coming in at about 12:30. You right?
I'm good.
Oh, door's gone as well.
The door's shut as well. That's it. We've decided. No more guests.
Yeah, so social media to follow up on our Guest of the Year. It's Highland Hospital Radio on Facebook and Instagram. Let's be real, we keep promoting BlueSky. Follow us on BlueSky.
Yeah, please do. But, what is BlueSky actually doing anything?
It does what it needs to do, But we do have a TikTok.
Oh, we do have a TikTok.
If you want to catch up with all the fun...
our two latest TikToks, there's no accuracy whatsoever in our two latest TikToks.
We do need to explain that later on, to be fair.
We certainly shall. So please do get in touch with us. Also, if you go along to Facebook, and it may be on Instagram as well, you can see the new graphics that Shannon has put up.
Well, you made the original, and I've just kind of expanded
Let's not beat around the bush. ChatGPT made the original. But you've added the notice board.
Yes.
Can we discuss the notice board?
Yeah, we can.
Briefly.
I have updated it after some
the notice board
to it. Yeah.
Shannon has created this little digital notice board as part of our promotion, and it contains some ongoing banter surrounding our show, and it's got some nice wee nuggets in it. I don't want to give them all away, right? But if you go onto our Facebook page and you go on, find Highland Hospital Radio, and you'll see, the guest there. So we've got Red Chair Highland. Also, I got reminded that it was my turn to bring the coffees in this week, which I have done.
Yeah.
And we can have a discussion about the looks that I got when I asked for your item.
You got looks?
Oh, well, they were like,
dear.
Say what now? So there's some stuff on there. We will discuss later some of the pod extras that are listed, because I have an issue with at least one of them. But there is our list of Guess the Year, This or That, or Beat Detective. Get in touch with us, studio@hhr.scot. And of course, don't forget, as it says at the very bottom corner of the notice board, the consumption of food and drink is strictly prohibited in the studios. Highland Hospital Radio Board. So I'm definitely not having an iced espresso sitting over here.
Absolutely not.
We are going to have some Helen Shapiro. We'll go into a short break where we'll find out more about the important services across your NHS Highland area. And then it's time for Guess the Year. So much happening already. It's already 12:15. Can you believe it? So, we are here live. We're just having a nice wee blather here with everybody that's in the studio. The Saturday drop-in is lovely because people drop in and say hello. But we need to be a professional now and, do this properly. Because we don't want another last week, basically.
No.
Shannon Marvel.
Sorry.
It is time for Guess the Year. We have got a couple of songs and a series of clues which are going to point you to a particular year. But the whole thing is, can you guess the year? For those listening live, why don't you drop us an email, studio@hhr.scot, or go onto the Facebook and Instagram page where you'll be able to see another couple of clues and also drop your message in there. Let's go for the first song. It's going to be Britney Spears. It was our first UK number one. Sold 1.4 million copies. Spent 2 weeks at number one. And it's the best-selling single of the year. But what was the year? Baby, one more time. It is Britney Spears here on Highland Hospital Radio as we play Guess the Year. Right, we'll take a breath. There's too much hilarity in the studio today. You're going to find out more about that just shortly. We're going to have a look at some interesting facts and figures from our mystery year in TV in Scotland. The first series of Chewing the Fat airs.
I love Chewing the Fat.
Do you see, I think Chewing the Fat is better than Still Game.
Oh.
Controversial.
What's your favourite sketch from Chewing the Fat?
Well, I probably can't say on hospital radio, to be honest. But the guys who were on the night shift. So whatever noise there was, they were out shouting. We're on the night shift.
Yeah. I like Gone No. How? Just Gone No.
Have you ever watched Burniston? Which is a more modern version. It's different comics, but it's BBC Scotland.
Okay.
And Burniston has similar sketch. I actually think Burniston's better than Chewing the Fat, but this is another argument we can have later. But there's a good one called Nay Rolls, which I'll send to you later.
Okay, cool.
Link in the description. Also, new shows. Bob the Builder debuts in this year.
Yes.
Holby City debuts this year. The League of Gentlemen, Spaced, and The Tweenies. All were first seen on television in our mystery year.
I like that. Born this year as well. I was told I had to do Born this year because it's the youngsters.
It's young people, yeah.
They're younger than me, if that helps at all. Sabrina Carpenter, obviously made famous from Disney Girls Meet World, and the singer of hits Espresso and Please, Please, Please. Please, please, please. She's like 5 foot as well. It's quite funny.
Is she?
She's really short.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't. Sorry, I'm not a big Sabrina Carpenter follower. I'm aware of Espresso.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
We like an espresso.
We
like an espresso. Lil Nas X. All I've got an explanation is rapper.
Rapper. That's all I could think of for Little Nas X. Now we're in this era, okay, where when I type in, famous celebrities born in, it's all YouTube, TikToker.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not referencing. So that was the only 2 I could find.
Yeah, Lil Nas X is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
In sport. Peterhead win the Highland Football League ahead of Huntly and Keith. In this season, there was an average of 4.09 goals per game.
How can you get 0.9
Well,
of a
the
goal?
average is over a year, but imagine going to football knowing that you're likely to see 4 goals every match.
I mean, that's every England game, isn't it?
Oh, get out. See, as
It's
a Livingston fan, I am not used to seeing that many goals scored at whatever we're calling the stadium this year. The FA Cup, which is held today in England, it was held in the old Wembley in May of this year, our mystery year. Manchester United faced Newcastle and won 2-0. And the Scottish Cup was an Old Firm derby, won by Rangers 1-0. It was held for the first time in the newly revamped Hampden Park. So that should be a good clue for people. Then at Wimbledon, Pete Sampras defeats Andre Agassi in straight sets to win the men's singles title. And in the women's title, it was Lindsay Davenport who overcame Steffi Graf, also in straight sets. And our final sporting clue at the British Grand Prix, Scot David Coulthard won the race starting from 3rd on the grid in his McLaren.
And at the movies, we've got our top 5 grossing films. So at number 1 was Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, we're starting at the 1, are we?
I might as well.
Okay.
I just said it. And that...
Great countdown.
Yeah, I know, right? I like to just get the anticipation out of the way first.
There's no build-up anymore.
No build-up whatsoever. So Phantom the Menace got £51 million in box office. Number 2 was Notting Hill. Loved Notting Hill. That was 30.7 million. A Bug's Life. That has aged so well.
Yeah, I liked it. It's Disney Pixar, isn't it?
Yeah. Watch that. Actually, when did I watch that? It was a couple of months ago, and I was like, this is
Still
still
good?
really
Still
good.
fresh.
The music's very good as well. That did 23.9 million at box office. Austin Powers, The Spy Who...
Yeah,
Me.
Hospital Radio, me.
That was at 25.7. Is that the one with Beyonce, or is it the one before? No.
Is that the second one? I don't know. I'd have to go and look that one up.
We've got confirmation it's the third one.
I am not committing to any facts anymore unless I've got it written down in front of me, because I am getting abuse on social media.
And at number 5 is The World Is Not Enough, getting 23.3 million in the box office. Which one's that film?
It's James Bond. The
Oh,
World
is
Is Not
it?
Enough. Yeah, that was a Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan?
Pierce Brosnan one. So that is your box office. Our final track, which is going to give you your final clue, is taken from the best-selling album of the year. Now, stand by. This is exciting.
Oh.
This was the biggest-selling UK album of the year. This album is still currently the 15th best-selling album of all time in the UK. It has been a platinum 11 times over, with over 3.5 million certified sales. Have you got any idea who it could be?
Was it Shania?
It's Shania
I
Twain.
love Shania.
This is the title track from the album. It's Come On Over on Guess the Year. Last chance to send it. I've got a couple of messages have come in. Let us know what you think here on Highland Hospital Radio.
Shania Twain, come on over on your Saturday drop-in. Fun fact for you.
I love a fun fact.
My mum used to play this album all the time. Used to be part of our Sunday music session whilst she made the roast dinner. Didn't know she was saying, come on over, come on in. Because I went to my mum once and I was like, who's Anne? She's like, what do you mean who's Anne? I was like, Shania's talking about Anne. Come on over, come on Anne. Yeah. Anne doesn't exist.
You're always good with knowing what song titles and artists are. So have you managed to guess the year from all of our clues? Well done to you. If you said...
Oh, very nice. Who was that?
I don't know. It's the mystery voice. So the year was 1999. Well done, you.
I didn't get it.
I did, because I wrote the quiz, so it's easier when you've got the answers in front of you, I suppose.
I guess it is, yeah. And even if you do the incorrect facts as well, like I did last year.
Last year?
Last
year, yeah. As a joke, I was going to do 1960 this week and just use the same stuff, but I thought, no, we've mentioned it enough that Shannon got it wrong.
Okay.
Or have we mentioned it enough?
Obviously not.
Coming up in just a moment's time, we're going to be joined in the studio by our special guest for this week after some Elton John. And are you ready for love? You're listening to the Sad Europa here on Highland Hospital Radio. We're joined in the studio now by our special guest. We're going to be talking about digital inclusion. Now, many of us take it for granted, our access to the digital world. 97% of UK homes have internet access and 94% of UK adults have a smartphone, according to 2024 figures. With the majority so high, many services such as banking, accessing government or council services or job seeking are more focused to providing those services digitally. This creates a digital exclusion for the minority who may not have internet access or smartphone availability, disadvantaging those people in our society. Red Chair Highland is a micro-social enterprise based in Inverness but offering support across the Highlands, aiming to try and close the digital divide. Joining us today from Red Chair Highland is Operations Manager Kirsty Adam. Kirsty, a very warm welcome to the show.
Hello there, thanks for having me.
Not a problem at all. We're delighted to have you in the studio. We're really excited about this because there's some nice media tie-in as well, but we'll talk about that a wee bit later on.
Okay.
Why don't you just introduce Red Chair Highland? Tell us about what it is that your service does.
Okay, so we are Red Chair Highland and we've got an office in the Crown in Inverness, but we, as you said, we serve across the Highland region. We've been on the go for a while, but we found that the COVID pandemic really changed us as an organisation, like many other third sector organisations. And what came to the fore during the lockdown was that digital inclusion was really, really important. And there were lots of people who were left at home during lockdown who had been using public access devices, public access Wi-Fi, and they were completely cut off. So as an organisation, we kind of really looked at this growing need and we pivoted to focus on that as an organisation, and we pin our services on that kind of going forward now exclusively. So we work to support people who maybe don't have devices or connectivity, perhaps because of disadvantage or there might be in a time of crisis, and we help them to get connected to the digital world. We also provide one support, so there might be somebody who's maybe not used a device before but find that they can't now order the repeat prescription or fill out an online form. You know, there's lots of services that are getting moved online, increasingly so, including public services. So there is a bit of a feeling of being left behind, especially maybe amongst older folk who've not kind of been used to doing things online, or who maybe felt that they maybe weren't going to have to. We were journeying towards this digital society before COVID, but it was 20 or 30 years away. COVID has absolutely accelerated
it absolutely advanced it, didn't it?
It's a juggernaut that we cannot stop, and it's harsh to say, got to get with the programme, guys, but they kind of almost have to, or they're going to be left behind.
And it was kind of the same for us as well. We're a perfect example of when COVID hit, we weren't outputting to patients or anything like that. So that's why we went online to just say, well, we need to output somewhere. And online seems to be the way it's going. So.
Yeah, you needed a way to reach the people, and it was an obvious choice. So we do a lot of one-to-one support. We do a lot of workshops around digital topics. So it might be learning to manage your energy account online, or learning to use NHS Near Me services, video calls. Some older people have never had a video call, and now all of a sudden they're having a doctor's appointment. We do an awful lot of cyber resilience training, because it's all very well opening up the world of digital to somebody, but we have to teach them to be safe. So we look at scam awareness, general internet safety, strong passwords.
Strong passwords.
We were fortunate enough to be joined by the cyber team from Police Scotland, who were telling us off endlessly about all of our behaviours. But I think for Shannon and I say our generation, we're a generation apart, but we have had computer access, we've had the use of smart devices for so long that we've sort of taken it for granted that there's still quite a lot of people who don't have that access. and just handing it to them and saying, well, there you go. It's so much more than just giving somebody a phone.
Yeah.
You mentioned things like your energy services. Not only is it, you have to access your account online to check things, but often, I'm thinking like direct debits, they offer you discounts if you do things that way. So if you want to stay paper-based, you're actually at a disadvantage financially as well.
You absolutely are. And there was a lady that we helped last year. She was 83, and she'd lost her vision quite a bit in the years leading up to this when we met her. And so she was still on paper bills, but she couldn't really read them or understand what was on them, and she was just paying the money. She came to us to query it. We set her up with an online account, and we discovered she was £1,400 in credit.
Goodness.
Whoa. And it took me 3 weeks of helping her to email back and forth to get that money back for her. And at first they said, we need 2 pictures of your meter. Now, this was a lady who didn't have a digital device.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there, I agree,
and the kind of stress, we actually had to make a house call to help her get the photos because she didn't have any family or anyone who could support her. And there was a point kind of towards the end of the 3 weeks where I said, would you mind if I write this email? And I wrote a very strongly worded email.
I can imagine.
And she had her money within 5 days. But, the electricity company hadn't flagged that to her.
No.
She had no way of knowing. It was very difficult.
It feels very cold. The customer service of these massive companies now is very... It's challenging enough for me. I feel myself quite confident and comfortable to have to phone someone and deal with that. But, yeah, it must be quite intimidating, I'd imagine. And also, again, financially, Shannon, you're probably the same, where we'll go onto USwitch, we'll go onto Go Compare, and we'll be very comfortable. Say, well, there's your car insurance has just come in. I'm not paying that. I'm going to find it better. Same with my gas and my electric. Same with my phone, my internet, my broadband. But I think there's probably still a lot of people. You mentioned that particular age bracket who, well, your electricity comes from the hydro, and your gas comes from the gas board, and your phone comes from BT. And you're not going to challenge that. That's their way of thinking. And they don't really have the access or the confidence or even just the understanding to say you can find better deals. And is that a part of what you do?
It's a massive part of what we do. And you mentioned BT there, and I might end up going on a tiny rant. But people do stick with the people they know, and they've known for years and years and years. But what people don't understand with BT, if you've got BT internet, broadband, home broadband, they give you this BT email account. Now, if at any point you decide to move your broadband to somebody else, BT then start to charge you $7.99 a month for your email.
To keep the email address,
And it's called their premium email. And we've found quite a few older people who hadn't known they were paying £8 a month for an email. Now, in this day and age, no one needs to pay for an email.
No, of course not.
So we moved them to the kind of basic BT email, and they were scammed and hacked within an hour. And it had so much spam emails that we had to delete it.
I find that interesting as well.
Yeah.
And going back to the internet security, that people, more vulnerable people who maybe don't use the online world as much, older people, are unfortunately more susceptible perhaps to these things.
They absolutely are, because they don't understand that what they're seeing could not be real. It could be a scam. An email might come on and it says it's from Tesco, but if you hover your cursor over the sender, it'll actually expand into the URL or email address, and it could be joeblogs@scammer.com. So we teach them about everything they can do, the kind of red flags they need to look for, how to report these things, and how to protect themselves and keep themselves safe online.
So you've mentioned one sort of group of people that you support. Tell us about the sort of wide range of people that Red Chair support.
So it is a very wide range. So we support those people who are digitally excluded because of financial reasons or circumstances. So those people who are disadvantaged or in poverty, they might be involved with the homeless system or the criminal justice system, or even kind of drug and alcohol and things like that. So we're there as a kind of emergency service so that they can at least access essential support systems and things like that. We also work a lot with older people, and this is probably our biggest group at the moment. And we find that there's no need to put a poster up or advertise, because, Bob will come to us to get his phone set up, and he'll tell his neighbour Jean, who then comes to us to get their email sorted, and they'll tell their sister Peggy, and it's just like a tsunami of older people that are finding their way to us at the moment. And then there's another group who are seeking to improve their employability. So we kind of help people with using digital tools for online job searching, accessing job sites, getting your email on your CV rather onto a word processing document, and we do things like that as well. So there's a wide range of people that we support.
It's amazing, and again, for us, I think we take it for granted, and it's great that there's a service such as yours that people can reach out to, and it's wonderful that it exists. Now, you've got some really interesting projects that you've been involved up to now, and there's some really exciting stuff coming up. What we'll do is we'll take a wee break, we'll play a song, and you're going to tell us about that when we come back. Now, you have picked a couple of songs for us. We'll deal with the second one later. But at the moment, you've asked for some read all about it, Professor Green and Emily Sandy. Was this a poll in the office?
It was a poll in the office, and we were trying to get some media links. So these were the winners.
I'm loving it. Well, we'll be back in just a moment's time with Kirsty from Red Chair Highland.
Professor Green with Emily Sandy. Read all about it on your Saturday drop-in. We're still with Kirsty from Highland Red Chair. So Kirsty, you have carried out, or the Highland Chair have carried out a year-long research called Making Sense of Media. Could you tell us a little bit about the project and what's come out of it? Yeah,
so we were commissioned by Ofcom to do this piece of work about 2 years ago now. It was a year-long piece of work, and the report came out last year. They are obviously the regulators for online media, so they're invested in seeing what work they can do to improve people's ability to recognise what's misinformation and what's disinformation online and in media, news and media content, social media. So we were particularly interested in looking at older people. So we spent a year working with older people, delivering a variety of different digital inclusion initiatives. It could be one-to-one support, it could have been group workshops, it was cyber resilience workshops, it was device provision, it was even remote support. We looked at all the different types of interventions to see what would have the biggest impact in terms of helping older people to become more confident using devices, more kind of skillful in the terms of digital skills, being able to do digital life tasks confidently, and then also being able to look at media and understand what was real and what wasn't. So it was really, really interesting. One of the stats was that we found that older women are much more likely to go and seek help and ask for help to improve their digital skills, where men were less likely. We only reached a third men and 2/3 were women. So we're actually going to Dingwall Men's Shed with our next project that we're going to talk about to try and reach more older men. I think partly it's because there's not as many spaces that they gather. So, but it was really interesting. It was found that one-to-one support, teaching an older person what they need to know, it's not what you think they might need to know, it's what they need to know to do what they want to do, and be more confident, and also, very importantly, keep themselves safe online.
That's amazing. And Ofcom are our best friends.
Absolutely, always.
So if there's a licence coming up here, guys.
I like that it has to be tailored to the individual. Having a massive paintbrush over the whole thing just isn't going to work. It has to be tailored, it has to be individual. Yeah. But that must make a big draw and a big demand on your service then.
Huge demand, especially amongst older people. We've got a little digital hub on Denny Street up in the Crown, and we're open on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, and people drop in or make appointments. We do a lot of weekly appointments, but we find that it's word of mouth that's spread, especially among the older population. We tell Bob to come in and we help set up his new phone, and then he's told his neighbour Jean, and she comes in and gets her email sorted, and then Jean tells her sister Peggy, and Peggy comes and she's locked out of her Facebook account, and we help her with that. and we find that they come regularly, they tell their friends, they tell their neighbours. And what we also try and do is have an open door policy. So we might see someone for 6 or 8 weeks, they've gotten confident, we wave them goodbye, but 2 months later they've come across a digital form they have to fill in, and they're panicking. So they can just come back and have one of our friendly teams sit beside them and help them to get that filled in.
I love that.
And again, going over this, you mentioned an online form there.
Yeah.
Changes in, for example, benefit payments and stuff. Yeah. That's moving to more online, and it's the older systems are stopping. There's a new system.
Yeah.
The amount of pressure that must put on people. But it's great that they can come along to a service such as yourself, and you're not giving them guidance about the funding they can get.
No.
It's simply, this is how you access the service. Yes.
Yeah. It's simply digital tools and digital skills and digital confidence and being safe online while you're doing it. everybody is having to more and more access all their kind of services online. It's part of life, and for most of us, it's not a big deal. But for somebody who maybe hasn't used a digital device ever before, doesn't really understand the concept of broadband or the cloud or clicking, it can be really, really scary. And there's a lot of anxiety, there's fear, sometimes there's resentment. You know, they feel like they shouldn't have to do this, that they really kind of resent having to do it. So there's no shortcut to helping people. It's patient, individual focused, one-to-one support, a lot of cups of tea and biscuits, and asking about the dog to build up trust. And we see a big impact when we can give that kind of time to people.
You said trust there. That must be absolutely vital.
It's huge.
And it's explaining to people that they're coming in saying, but for the past 30 years, I've done it this way.
Yeah.
We've had pen and paper. This has worked.
Yeah.
Why do I have to change? And to try and say to someone, well, it's going to help you. This is beneficial. Or I suppose you can actually say, do you know what? We don't know why it switched to online, but it has. So we're going to get you
Here
there.
it is, yeah.
But the trust thing's very important. And there was one other wee point, because this is something I've experienced where I'm guilty of it, where I'll bring people into the studio and I will assume a level of confidence at using IT that they don't have, and that's a total flaw and an error on my part. And I'll say, if you just click and drag, for someone who's been brought up in that environment, click and drag, that's fine. But an older person doesn't get that. But also, I think there will eventually be a generation who won't understand it, and that's the generation coming through. Click and drag isn't really a thing, because
when we had the brownies in?
Exactly.
I asked a kid to right click on a mouse, and she was like, "What's a right click?" And I was like,
it would be
"Oh, 'cause
touch
it's all
screen."
touchscreen."
Exactly. Yeah. So there's interest in that.
Interestingly, we are seeing that the youngest generation, kind of like 12 to 18 years coming up, haven't got the skills on a computer. You can pop them in front with a smartphone and they can do anything, but they can't edit a document, they can't attach a file. There's lots of things that they're skills they've not developed because of the smartphone usage.
See, that's interesting. Sorry, you go,
No,
Shannon.
you're fine. I think in a way that we've also over-accelerated for our target audience.
Yeah.
When we rebrand it, we work quite closely together on promotions. And you're like, shove a QR code in there.
Well, because
how's Bob going to know how to just scan a QR code?
But this is it. That acceleration of COVID. You know, the QR code was gone. Really, it came in. It was like, what's that? It doesn't really do anything for us.
Yeah.
But then, of course,
Track and
it came
trace.
back again
Yeah.
for tracking, and now a lot more people understand the concept. But that's quite an interesting one. That the people that you're supporting. We've spoken primarily about the older generation, but of course, there's people in need, and sort of in midlife.
Yeah.
But then there's this younger generation coming through as well. That when they're coming into the employment market, how prepared are they for that? And that's probably going to be the next bunch of people that are waiting at your door wanting a biscuit as well.
Definitely. If it's not a Chromebook or a smartphone, they're stuffed.
I absolutely agree, and I see that from my personal side.
Yeah.
And your example, Shannon, when the Brownies came to run the radio station for us for a day, just some of the terms that we take for granted in everyday computer usage is just something that's maybe slipping away a wee bit.
Exactly.
We mentioned internet access, smartphone availability, but the two are often separated.
Yep.
And you have an additional cost, of course, involved in that. Now, I was reading in one of your recent newsletters about the National Data Bank.
Yeah.
What's that?
So the National Data Bank is a programme that's administered by an organisation called the Good Things Foundation. But they've got some of the big mobile phone providers coming in on this programme jointly. There's 3, Vodafone and O2 in them at the moment. We're waiting for EE to come and join. So they basically provide SIM cards for us to put out to people who are in dire need and cannot afford connectivity. And obviously we know that they need to be able to contact support services, family, friends, emergency services when you're in disadvantage or in your time of crisis. So these SIM cards go out and they've got 6 months worth of unlimited calls and texts on them, and they get 40 gig of data every 30 days for the 6 months, and it gives them an opportunity to get connected. And because they've had one of these National Data Bank cards, at the end of the 6 months they're offered a really good social tariff. It's a £5 a month, and it's 26 gig and unlimited calls and texts, and it's only linked to the charity card, and it's only accessed through a link in the text they send you. So that can go on as long as they need it to. They just have to put a £5 on a month, which we're hoping is affordable.
Yeah, but you would hope so.
Yeah.
And you're hoping in that 6 months that's given them the opportunity to hopefully get the support that they need.
Exactly.
And turn on all the all the systems that are available to
Exactly,
them. Maybe
yeah.
even get them into an employment in some way, or
Yeah.
some role that's allowing them some income.
Yeah.
Such a lifeline system,
It is.
because we've turned internet access into a life support system as such.
Yeah.
And there'll be other things. Maybe a slight aside to this is the switching off of analog signals on television, the
Exactly,
turning off getting television through an aerial and only getting your television through an internet connection. And it has to therefore, we're talking about an internet connection was 94%, I think, at the beginning of the show, or 97, sorry. Not a good internet connection, potentially. And we think about being up here in the Highlands. We're quite fortunate here in Inverness that we get a good broadband, and probably in the built up areas, but you don't have to go too far outside
Yeah.
a
I
built up
can't
area in the
get
Highlands.
Wi-Fi outside my house in Dingle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
So
that's Sky.
yeah.
So we use the data bank cards and pair them up with Wi-Fi units so that people in some of these areas where there isn't a choice for Wi-Fi, or it's inaffordable for them, they can get a little bit of connection.
What's MiFi, just for the listeners?
So
in case they're not
Wi-Fi
sure?
is a mini router that runs off the mobile phone network, not the kind of broadband network.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Very nice.
we should celebrate success here, because I have a wee bit of information in front of me here that says at the 2023 Social Enterprise Awards Scotland, Red Chair Highland was the winner for Tech for Good Award.
Yes, we were.
And how was that
That
to
was
win that?
just amazing.
How was that recognition?
It was absolutely brilliant, because we'd worked really hard over COVID to try and bridge this digital divide that's kind of opening up in our populations, and it was wonderful. We went down to Holyrood for the ceremony, and we didn't know if we'd won or not until the announcement, so it was super exciting.
Wow.
And then because we'd won, we got to be part of the judging panel for the category just this year past. So that
wow!
was-
So how was that? Because
That
that
was
must be
really-
great for networking, to speak to
Yeah.
other people and doing a similar
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah, it was really good, really interesting, and kind of got our name out there a bit more about digital inclusion as well and what we do.
That's amazing. Do you have any sort of nomination pointers that you can get for this year, or is it all hush hush?
Oh, it's all hush hush.
Oh,
I can't
right,
say
okay,
a word.
fair enough. Yeah. So, what is the future looking like at Red Chair?
So we are doing another programme for Ofcom. This programme is called Untold Stories, and again it's around media literacy, but this time we're specifically looking at the rise of misinformation, disinformation and AI generated media and content, and then alongside that kind of persuasive design techniques that news platforms and social media platforms use. That's when a video clicks on after you've watched the previous one and it's one that you might like, or an algorithm, so it's feeding you what you kind of
Absolutely.
already agree with.
And
So
then
we're-
suddenly it's 2 hours later and you're still staring at your
Yeah,
phone.
exactly.
All been there.
You've gone down that rabbit hole.
Yep.
So we're going into areas, and we're going to be talking and teaching adults about how to recognise misinformation and disinformation. But alongside that, we're actually going to be teaching them about news production in the kind of light of misinformation and disinformation. And the participants are going to be making their own local news story at the end of the course. So,
That's so cool.
it is pretty cool.
Well, we were just wondering about that, because do you have any plans for how that would be output or broadcast at all?
Well, some people might choose to do an audio, and
Well,
we would
just-
love a bit of a radio route to publishing.
I
That'd
don't
be
see
great.
that being an issue.
I think
what does the chair think?
I think we might know some people who'd be willing to help you out and support that.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, how do people get in touch with Red Chair Highland, other than Bob, Jean, and Peggy?
Yes.
We've got that system covered. How else can somebody get in touch?
So we've got a website, which is Red Chair Highland. You can find us on there. We've got a Facebook page, which is Red Chair Highland. And they can also email us at info@redchairhighland.scot. And our phone number is 01463 417 240. But you can also just drop into our digital hub down on Denny Street. The kettle's always on.
So, where's Denny Street? That's the Crown area, yeah?
Yeah, it's
so,
the Crown
It's up by
area.
Cup and Cone.
Ah,
There
right.
you go.
It's kind of just
If you,
near
in this
Cupcone.
studio, you just tell us where the nearest coffee shop is, particularly local and independent. and hello to Peter at Cup and Cone.
Hi, Peter.
Well, Kirsty, thank you so much for coming in to see us and telling us all about Red Chair. It's so exciting, and you know what? I hope that everything goes well. And if you want to come back and speak to us, that's great. And if you also want to come and see if we can help you out with something, certainly everybody, the team here at Highland Hospital, would be delighted to help you out.
That's great. Thank you so much, guys.
Now, we'll finish off with your song choice. This is where it goes downhill. Not because we don't like the song. We love the song. We love the artist. The title of the song, however, you've chosen Video Killed the Radio Star. Now, I don't know, is that so you can clear us out to come in and take over? What's your plans here?
Apologies, it just won the poll.
Kirsty, thank you so much. Come and see us again. Find out more information at redchairhighland.scot, and we'll be putting some information onto our webpage as well. Have a lovely Saturday. Enjoy this weather.
Thank you very much, guys.
Cheery.
Thank you.
It's In His Kiss, within brackets, the Shoop Shoop song. It's Cher here on Highland Hospital Radio. I want to say that was from the movie Mermaids.
Was it?
Yes. I'm just throwing facts out there without even knowing if they're going to hit the mark. Welcome along. It's the second hour of your Saturday drop-in. It is 11.5 minutes past 1 if you're listening live here on Saturday the 17th of May. And we've just said cheerio to our guest Kirsty from Red Chair Highland.
What a laugh.
Oh, amazing. She is wonderful, and the organisation as well is great. If you've missed that wee chat, well, fear not, because all of this will be contained within the Saturday Drop-In podcast, and we're just discussing when that's going to be available, because, spoilers,
We're busy.
we're busy. Straight after today's show, we're going back to my house, where Laura is currently busy tidying up and frantically preparing. I did some
She doesn't
tidying
need to
earlier.
frantically prepare, like, you know.
Well, she's preparing. Because we're having a wee barbecue.
a
The
wee
much-awaited barbecue. That
It's only
was,
taken, what, 2.5 years?
yeah, we promised
actually
you this
planned
barbecue. Like it pretty much after COVID. Like, you need to come over sometime.
And you had to do the patio.
Well,
That was the reason you weren't doing it at the
well,
time.
that was my Facebook memory from 2 years ago. Was me digging out the patio. And Laura's still around, by the way. I'm just saying, you know. If Laura disappeared around about that time, fair enough. Questions could have been asked.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, I was just thinking what you've said about that. And I'm
That's
like, yeah, cool.
so we're doing that. We've kind of misjudged this. That is Eurovision tonight. So I don't know if we need to like get the
might
projector
just-
out, or we'll
I
put.
don't need to do the projector.
We'll just put the radio on because radio's better than television.
I quite like Scott and Ryland.
Yeah. Oh,
I think
Laura
they're
actually
really
sent me
funny.
something about Ryland. Hold up. It's almost like you set this up just nicely here. Ryland they were doing the semi-final on Thursday.
They were, yes.
Ryland and Scott, and Ryland was complaining on the air that every time he goes to a Eurovision Song Contest,
People think that he's
people thinks he's the act.
Yeah.
Because Ryland just looks like a Eurovision act, I think
Yeah.
is basically what
well,
we're saying
he
here.
was the personality vote in X Factor when he used to be in that. Do you remember? That's how he got famous.
You're asking me about watching the X Factor.
It's been a long time.
I think I can safely say I never once watched a single episode, pick up that jaw, of the X Factor. Pop Idol, Pop Stars, X Factor,
Really?
Britain's Got Talent. I have never watched
Are
a
you
single.
not following Rumac on Britain's Got Talent?
Sorry, what?
Rumac. Wow.
Help me out here. What's
Rumac is our Britain's Got Talent person. He's from Ullapool.
Oh, is
He
this
played
the is this the accordion dude?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's Rumac. Yeah, you haven't been following him? He's local. No? Oh dear.
I mean,
Not even like Alexandra Burke? Leona
I'm aware
Lewis?
of these people
but you
once
never
they
watched it?
released a crisp because I've done chart shows, so I know I need to play the songs.
The X Factor final song.
Basically that's it.
Stacey Solomon?
Who?
Stacey Solomon.
Stacey's. Oh, she's that woman.
She is a woman. Well done.
Yeah.
Sort your life out.
Yeah,
Go
she's.
swash.
Is she like a London accent? She's kind of
Yeah.
brash
She's
in a nice way.
Yeah.
She's upfront.
She's bubbly.
There you go, bubbly. Thank
Yeah,
you for
she-
digging me
she
out of
was
that
a-
hole.
She did X Factor.
See, here's the thing. I've never had. Saturday night television ceased for me when Noel's house party finished. I think that was the end of Saturday night television for me. Once Big Break was gone,
Not even
once the
Doctor Who?
Generation Game was gone, I don't like Doctor Who. Now, yes, yeah. Hear me out.
Where's the oxygen?
Here, this is my thing about I like sci-fi, but I like plausible sci-fi. Hear me out, okay?
You watched Star Wars.
Yeah, that's plausible.
How is that plausible?
It was in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. Space, lasers, ships.
Humans that don't live on Earth.
Yeah.
Plausible.
Yes.
A long time ago.
Yes. Star Trek, futuristic, could happen. Yes. Doctor Who? No, that's nonsense.
How?
There's nothing.
Wow.
It's nonsense. So I can't do
We can't be friends.
It's like
Can't be friends anymore. That's not okay.
Wow.
You're telling me David Tennant
I think different things there, but same with Lord of the Rings. I don't do fantasy sci-fi.
Okay.
So hear me out. It's fantasy sci-fi is my problem. Sci-fi that has a shred of possibility to it.
Okay.
Very thin shred, right? I'm okay with that. Fantasy sci-fi. So like, yeah, Lord of the Rings couldn't do that. And was it Doctor Who couldn't do that.
It's question.
Yeah, interestingly,
it's not like it's been going around for 60 years or anything. So some people support it.
You know, some sort of thing. That's cool. The thing is, my Facebook algorithm seems to think I love Doctor Who because all of my reels are Doctor Who. In fact, that should be something we should discuss. Is what's been your reels that social media has decided you need to see this week?
I don't want to talk about it.
It's
The Crown.
The Crown.
The Crown.
What? Again, nothing but The Crown.
Yeah.
Episodes of The Crown. And Doctor Who. That's my go-to reels that I get issued by the Facebook bots. Yeah, that I don't get it. It seems very, very, very weird indeed.
Support cinema, support streaming devices, because film talk is just bad. Hence why we're just watching things with The Crown on reels. And
that's just it. Yeah, I've seen everything I need to do. Star Trek Voyager. That's the other one that I'm getting on my reels just now. But I think that's probably quite targeted, to be honest. I like a bit of Star Trek.
Yeah. As we've learned. Previous.
Go back and listen to the podcast. I've also found a new podcast that I like.
That's not ours.
It's not. Well, I've listened to all our episodes.
Yeah, I've listened to all of our episodes.
I'm not going to listen to them again. I had a long drive because I was working away this week.
Yes, you were.
So I was working away in Dundee.
As you do.
As you do. Well, as I do, yeah. The comedy element is I drove to Dundee in my car rather than take public transport.
And you work in public transport.
I want you to be certain I got home. So I found a new podcast that I'm listening to.
What is it?
Well, it's a couple of guys. They ran a thing called the Glasgow Roads Archive. Okay. And it was like the history of the Glasgow motorway network.
Yes.
And then they've sort of branched out to be the whole of Scotland a couple of years ago. I'm slow on the curve here, right? And they've got a podcast called the Scottish Roadcast. Oh. It's two guys talking about roads in Scotland. And I don't mean like...
That seems to be like you're in your element for that.
Mate. And it's not like, this is a scenic journey. It's like, so did you know that the type of cat's eyes in the road on that one is a 1992 specific? That's the kind of level of it.
Wow.
And they're, do you know, and they spent 400 million on that junction? It's, so
wow.
Once you've listened to all the episodes of
the
Saturday Drop-In, on all the platforms repeatedly, so it helps the numbers, check out the Scottish Roadcast. If you like the idea of talking about motorway and like an entire hour dedicated to the M8.
An hour?
Yeah. An hour-long podcast dedicated to the M8, dedicated to the Keswick Bridge 40th anniversary, dedicated to speed cameras on the A9.
Yeah.
I wanted to almost go a longer route to listen to more of this podcast, but alas, I've got an electric car, so I don't have that luxury.
That's a shame.
Yeah, well. So there we go. There's my week. A week in Dundee, listening to that podcast as I drove. Mm-hmm. I went for a lovely walk along the beach.
You
in
did?
Tayside. Costa del Tayside.
Costa del Tayside.
Nay, Costa del Dingwall for me, I'm afraid.
No, it's not Costa del Dingwall, it's Costa del Ding.
Costa del Ding.
Sounds better.
So I don't know, lots of lovely places in Scotland to go when it's nice and sunny. And
Dingwall's one of them.
Dingwall is lovely when it's sunny. Everywhere's lovely when it's sunny. Loads of nice places across the NHS Highland. Of course, being in hospital is quite sucky to be in hospital when it's nice and sunny. Well, we're hoping, but it's going to be toasty warm up on the ward. So hopefully, at least we're enjoying the sunshine. That's making you feel a bit better.
Yes.
And hopefully you're getting home soon. So that was a rather convoluted route of, I've been in Dundee, it was sunny, I was listening to podcasts, I went for a walk along the beach.
Yeah.
Because I took
Doctor Who.
And Doctor Who. Because I did a reel. Or did I just? I did a story.
You did a story
with some nice music in the background. Then the second story was with the microphone on and the wind noise from the howling gale.
It was quite windy where you were. Like, wow.
Jings. So yeah, that's been my week. What have you been up to?
Just working. Literally just working. I'm actually trying to think what actually happened this week. Literally nothing.
Literally nothing.
Literally nothing. Apart from I had to give away more sunflowers. I was really upset about it.
Well, yeah, so there's a couple of sunflowers coming our way, and fortunately we've been potting some plants in the garden. But the good thing is we've left a couple of pots for some sunflowers. We deliberately kept them spare because we knew there was sunflowers coming. I don't know what breed
I've given you, so it'll be a surprise for all of us.
Yay.
I accidentally mixed them up when I was like repotting when they needed to like come out of propagation station and into potting station, and it's been very stressful. But it's honestly like giving kids away. I've worked so hard on those sunflowers.
You can do that? Is that allowed?
What, giving away kids? I don't know, send them to school maybe. Like.
Nobody told me about this. Jinx Crivens. Right, before I get into any more trouble, shall we...
Play Beat Detective.
Yes, let's. Beat Detective is our cryptic quiz clues to tell you about the last song that's getting played on today's show. You can go to Facebook and Instagram and you'll be able to visually read the clue, which we are about to read out to you just now. Our clue is for your artist and your song. The artist is made up of 2 words. Mm-hmm.
It is, yeah.
And the clue is, you better get the person that makes, alters and fits clothing to do it quickly.
Okay.
You better get the person that makes, alters and fits clothing to do it quickly. That's your artist.
Clever.
It's good. I like it.
Clever.
I'm quite pleased with it. Your song, I'm just double checking, is made up of 3 words.
It is, yes.
We could discuss
can confirm.
brackets. We could discuss brackets about this actually. But we'll come back to that later once we reveal the song.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, I got
exactly.
why. Okay, that's fine.
It's the one with the brackets. But the brackets aren't referenced.
Yeah.
The song is made up of 3 words, and it says, action to perhaps get a bug out of my hair. Why are you looking at me like that? As soon as I said the word hair, you looked up.
I'm just looking at you because I'm just across the desk from you.
Sure, yeah.
I am.
Sure.
You wrote this. Like,
did.
that's your own fault.
Yeah. Action to perhaps get a bug out of my hair. That is the name of the song. So if you know the artist and song, you can show off by emailing studio@hhr.scot with your correct answer, or check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and you can post it there. And if you post it first, you get all the glory.
Of course.
You just get to show off, basically.
Yeah. And just know that everyone else is copying your answer.
Exactly. Now, the time is 22 minutes past 1. We're going to have a wee song. Got the Bass City Rollers coming up next. That's so good.
Ooh, I like this song.
This is a good song. And when we come back after a short break, we are going to be playing this week's edition of This or That Europop or Euroflop. And lots more fun as well here on your Saturday drop-in. But first, let's have some Bass City Rollers.
Such a good song.
Such a good song. Dance along now. And we're back here on Highland Hospital Radio. It's your Saturday drop-in with Shannon over there. Hello.
Hello.
And it's Tom over here. Hello. Now, it is time for This or That. If you are new to the show, then, well, what we do is have a wee quiz. And because we're not the brightest of people, we make it nice and easy. It's a 50-50 quiz.
Yes.
Yeah? So either the answer to the question is A or B, and we always have an amusing title to it to, make it funny, basically, because that's what we're like. That's what we do. This week is no exception. It will have not escaped your attention that tonight is the Eurovision Song Contest final in Basel in Switzerland, and the UK entry. Sorry, remember what was it called again?
What the hell just happened by Remember Mondays?
Is it not? Yeah. Okay. Listen, it is what it is. We're discussing off air there if we're fans or not. I'm indifferent to it.
I enjoy it. It reminds me of when Little Mix were first kind of put together, and everyone went, "Yeah, they're money makers."
Little Mixy, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
So anyway, with the Eurovision Song Contest on, our This or That quiz for this week is titled Europop or Euroflop. In this week's quiz, Shannon, you have got 10 UK Eurovision entries.
Okay.
And I am going to ask you to identify if they're a Europop, which means they finished in the top 5, or a Euroflop, which meant they finished outside the top 5 of the final standings.
Okay.
Okay? However, we're going to have a bonus system, the first ever bonus system. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Normally that would be out of 10 points. You could score 12 points potentially here today. Because I am going to give you one use each of a nul point and one use of a winner.
Okay.
In the list of 10, one of them scored the famous nul point, and one of them won the competition. So, if I give you the name, you first of all have to decide, is it Europop or Euroflop?
Okay.
If you think that the one I've given you, if you say it's Europop and you think it won, you have to say, I'm calling that out. That's a winner.
Yeah.
If you're right, you get 2 points.
I don't know anyone who's won Eurovision in the UK.
Then this is going to go well for me.
Have we won at the Eurovision?
Not in your lifetime?
Okay.
Wow, oh my god, no.
Sorry.
We'll come back to this after because I don't want to give away. I don't think we have one in your. Oh no, that's quite depressing, isn't it?
I'm sorry. Did I ruin it for you?
Yeah, I'm just remembering that.
That's all right. I'll probably forget it in like 5 minutes.
So young.
Not that young.
Oh, believe me, you are. Disgustingly young. Disgustingly young. Right, so I've got 10 artists. Now I've scrambled them. They're in no particular order, okay? So we'll just have some fun. Now, our first one we're going to go for is 1979. The artist was Black Lace. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of Black Lace.
I've recognised.
They're more famous
name.
if you've ever been to a caravan park or a British holiday seaside resort. You will have heard Black Lace, Agadoo, or Superman, without a doubt.
Agadoo, yeah.
Agadoo. So they that's the
country.
you're
Yep, got
absolutely
you,
spot on.
got you.
So they represented UK in 1979 with the song Mary Ann. I would like you to tell me, was that Europop or Euroflop?
I'm going to say, because Agadoo was a banger,
It is it was, please.
certified banger, I'm going to say it was Europop.
Unfortunately, it was a Euroflop.
What?
Yeah, unfortunately, it came 7th, scoring only 73 points in the 1979 competition. And it's so forgotten by everyone that I asked our smart speaker, who shall remain nameless because it will set everybody's off, to play it. It couldn't find it. I then went on to Apple Music, and it's not there either. I managed to find a clip of it on YouTube. And you know what? You can give or take it.
It's just all right.
It's just all right. It's just there. It's
Okay.
happening.
Right.
So your first one, I'm afraid you've already lost the maximum points. Also, you didn't declare if that was a winner or not. So,
Well, it wasn't a winner.
yeah, exactly.
So.
Or a lose, or the nil point. Don't forget you've got your nil point bonus
Yes.
card as well.
I know 1-0 pois.
There we go. So number 2, from 1976, we have Brotherhood of Man and Save Your Kisses. Is that Europop or is it Euroflop?
Can I get the song sung?
It'll need to be because we'll get copyright striked if we play it. So,
I've never been sung to
save
before.
your kisses for me. Save all your kisses for me. Now,
yeah.
you can't see the footwork, but the footwork's happening.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say this was definitely pop. Europop.
Okay, she's calling Europop.
Yeah. I'm also gonna say it's a winner.
Really? Are you sure?
I don't know. Do I? It's a good song, and I feel like it's a very Eurovision-y song.
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's go winner.
So she's calling Europop, and you're declaring this is your only chance you get to say it's a winner.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to say it's a winner. Yeah!
Well done. She's found the Europop winner. 2 points to Shannon.
Thank you.
Wow. So you're actually having your 2 for 2 as it stands.
2 for 2.
You're on back on at least 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Well done. Yes, Brotherhood of Man won the Eurovision Song Contest with 164 points. Save Your Kisses for Me. Their other 2 songs, one was definitely called Angelo, and the other one escapes me right now, but we'll come back to that later. Number 3 from 1968, Cliff Richards, and congratulations. Is that Europop or Euroflop?
Does it help that it was Cliff Richard? That's my question.
It's the Eurovision Song Contest.
Are
You have to
tilted towards that.
Yeah, but you have to ignore any kind of logic when it comes to the Eurovision Song Contest.
This is true. I'm gonna say it was a Euroflop.
Well, I'm afraid you're wrong because
Really?
Cliff Richard came second in 1968, scoring 28 points. 28 points got you second place back in 1968.
Yeah.
Number 4 entry. It's 1996. It's Gina G. It's Ooh Ah, Just a Little Bit. An absolute
Just a
banger
little
of a
bit.
tune.
Yes.
Europop or Euroflop?
Euro. Oh, it's hard because you can't gauge it. The judges, obviously, judges have changed and everything.
Come on, but the
I'm gonna
European people haven't changed. That's an well, I don't know.
Let's go Europop.
It's a Euroflop, I'm afraid.
What?
I know. I remember watching it at the time. Gina G in 1996, she really probably should have won it. However, it was the live scoring on the night, and I'm afraid she had some musicality issues. She was a wee bit out of tune.
Oh no!
And had a bit of a.
Oh,
it wasn't great.
dear.
An absolute great song, and if it had been performed well, if the technical issues hadn't occurred, I'll do it that way. No doubt would have been a winner. But she only got 8th with 77 points in 1996.
That's what I'd say about my karaoke performances as well. It's a tech issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dodgy microphone. Number 5, we're jumping to 2003. A band called Gemini. I'm sure they were brother and sister. I might have to double check that one. And the song is Cry Baby. 2003 Gemini, Cry Baby.
Right, so we're in the noughties and we're in pop duo for Eurovision, Euroflop.
She's gone Euroflop. Is correct.
Yeah.
It is a Euroflop, but I'm afraid
Oh no, was it a
you've
nil
missed the nil point. I'm afraid that Gemini and Cry Baby was a Euroflop.
I was waiting for
And
what's
nil
his face?
point.
Yeah.
I'm afraid
dearie
so.
me.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, the most recent one I wasn't going to use because that was just too easy. But yeah,
that's
one.
what I was waiting for.
if you are, once you finish listening to this, go into YouTube and put on the live performance. Oh my goodness.
What's the ones that was like the airplane?
That was Scooch flying the flag. I
Yeah.
don't think they got nil point.
I think they were 6th.
No,
because
they
they
were
were, like-
horrendous. They were
They were on like coach trip or something, weren't they?
Yeah, right,
And they
so
were just obsessed about talking about it.
2007, Scooch flying the flag (brackets for you) close brackets finished 22nd on the night, scoring a total of 19 points.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so Gemini hold the record for nil point, along with only one other person. So, what was your most recent one? Do you want to quickly jump in him because he's not going to appear?
Ollie something or other.
No,
from-
Ollie didn't get nil point. No. No. He
it-
maybe did because the split after the voting's different now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe he got nil point for certain parts of it, but he certainly got points either from the jury or from the public vote. But he got points.
Ah, right. Okay.
The other one, he's not coming up, so I'll tell you now. It was James Newman who sang Embers in 2021, finished plumb last with no
Yes, I
point.
remember that because everyone just listened to it and went, "Nah, you're good."
1966 now. Kenneth McKellar from Aberdeen. He was from.
Very nice.
A Man Without Love. Europop or Euroflop?
I'm gonna go with Europop.
I'm afraid it's a Euroflop. Poor Kenneth
I
McKellar.
am really bad at this.
9th place in 1966, only securing 8 points from the jury.
Top 10 and 9.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually.
He's doing no bad.
Yeah.
Number 7, 1992, Michael Ball, One Step Out of Time. Doo, doo, doo. Oh, so 90s it hurts. One reason to love this love on the line.
Europop.
Can you hear me? And one step out of time. One step. One
Sorry,
step
just bear
out
with
of
us
time.
whilst
One step. Sorry, what?
we back.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, cool. I was gonna say, what did I say? Pop.
Yeah, of course it's Europop. He should have won it. He came second in 1992
nice.
on 139 points. I think it was one of the times when Ireland won it because they did. In 1992, the winner... Come on, Tom. The winning song was Ireland, Why Me? Which was sung by Linda Martin.
Very nice.
I mean, not a bad song to come second to, but yeah, One Step at a Time is probably my favourite Eurovision. That's peak Eurovision for me. Michael Ball.
I like a bit of Michael Ball.
Oh, guys, that was so good.
Wasn't he Mulan?
Beg your pardon?
Let's get down to business.
that him?
I think so.
No, we're not doing this. No.
Let's just continue with this.
There will
and
be no facts presented without absolute clarity. Right, we're going for number 8 now. This is the first time the UK participated in the competition in 1957. Patricia Bredon sang the song All. Was she a Europop or a Euroflop?
She was a Euroflop.
Correct, I'm afraid she was. It was our first time in the competition and we finished 7th out of 10, only scoring 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Oui. Number 9, from 1988, Scott Fitzgerald sang Go. Was it Europop or was it Euroflop?
I'm gonna go with. See what I did there. Europop.
You'd be correct. Yes, finished second. Remember, I don't know if we hold the record for the most second places, but on my list of 10, we have 4 second places here.
That's nuts.
Scott scored 136 points in 1988 to secure second spot. It's your final one. Would you like to know how you're getting on? You've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points.
That's not bad.
Because you got your bonus.
You
got one of the bonuses. Yeah, this is good. 1975, The Shadows. We've already had Cliff Richard. Now, Cliff appeared twice. The Shadows in 1975. Sans Cliff. No Cliff for The Shadows at this stage. Sans Cliff.
Nice.
The Shadows with Let Me Be the One.
Can I get in a performance, please?
Let me be the one who's loving you tonight. I really should be singing this to you. This feels quite weird, to be honest.
It's alright, you're married, I'm engaged, we're good.
Yeah, it's all good. Wait until our partners meet each other later on today, but I've been singing love songs at you.
They'll be listening.
Let me be the one who's loving you tonight.
I'm gonna say Europop.
Let me be the one who really holds you tight. And I think the time is right. So let me be the one who's loving you tonight. Thank you.
Europop.
That was indeed Europop. Well done. 7 out of 12.
That's not.
That's
over half.
Exactly. You've done well there. The Shadows and Let Me Be the One. It's a really good song. So if you like that list, if you're listening on the podcast, we could do a Spotify of this. Oh my goodness, we could have a playlist. Anyway, please, I'm putting this out here now. Please, Shannon, don't use my singing for TikTok. I don't think the world needs that.
Okay.
But I suspect it's going to get it,
Possibly.
whether it likes it. Oh, well, maybe I wasn't recording. Who knows?
What? Seriously?
I was recording.
Okay, thank God. Should we listen to this year's entry?
Let's listen to this year's Eurovision entry as he wakes up the mouse from its hibernation and
That's how much
tries to figure out where it is. Yeah, So this is What the Hell Just Happened. Sorry for the language, by the way, but, Shannon's approved this for hospital radio consumption. Remember Monday. You'll hear them tonight. I think they're number 8 they're playing in.
Yes, they are.
He says, pretending he doesn't watch Eurovision. That's such a good song, isn't it? That's a good summer's day song.
J-Lo did good.
J-Lo does and does.
Yeah.
You're on your Saturday dropping. Waiting for tonight, you have got the Eurovision Song Contest is on, obviously, which is on that there BBC Radio 2. However, if you're looking for...
I'm one.
Are they showing on both now?
Yeah, we do both.
Oh, wow, that's exciting.
Run out of shows.
Out of ideas. Saves paying wages. Whoa! How did that come from?
Careful.
However, if you'd like an antithesis, the opposite of Eurovision, something to get away from it, then tune into Highland Hospital Radio, where tonight at 7, Mike Goodbrand is here with the Rock and Roll Hour. You have Live at 8 with your requests with George Mackenzie from 8, and then David Robertson is here with all the latest album releases at 9 o'clock on the Saturday Showcase. But we might listen into one or the other. Because you're coming around to our house for a barbecue. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, we've got everything that we're not going to buy anymore. There's enough food. So now's a good time to ask, what's the barbecue essential? What must a barbecue have, in your opinion, Shannon?
Oh, it needs a burger.
It needs a burger. Check.
It needs at least a minimum of 2 men round the barbecue.
Without a doubt, yeah. And no...
To judge on barbecue-ness.
All the men shall gather around the barbecue and just make comments about the fire. There'll be criticisms, I understand, because the coal that I use probably won't be up to scratch with some people. I understand that. That's fine.
And
that's acceptable.
You need to have the tongs to do the.
I've got the
guaranteed.
Please, yes, we've got the chit. Very long tongs, obviously, so you don't hurt yourself. Mm-hmm.
Ketchup.
Good. Ketchup, yeah, got ketchup.
Guaranteed.
Got ketchup. Must there be a sausage? Must there be a hot dog content, or you?
I'm quite happy with a sausage or a hot dog. That makes me content.
A drumstick? There's a drumstick in this?
See, I like it. It's just the bones. You have to stand around with the bone and stuff like that. So you need a bin. I'm sure there is a bin.
We've got a bin.
Yeah, that's
good
to know. That's great to know.
We've got the bin. We've got a food bin as well.
You see, the barbecues that I used to go to, so it's one of my old neighbours. She's called Dorothy. She's very well known for doing the flowers on the streets. She gets a big thank you in the newsletter for it. She used to do this big barbecue every year when my nan used to come over for the holidays, and she would have everything, even prawns that you have to take all the shells off and stuff like that.
We don't
Proper
have that.
Posh. Pims?
No, because we're not in 1950s England.
Do you not like Pims?
I don't think I've ever tried Pims, to be honest.
That's
There's
my first ever drink.
There's gin. Was it?
And it was because she made her strongest.
You're so posh.
Yeah. I'm not posh.
You are posh.
I'm not.
You played the French horn. That's posh.
We haven't had any music that I can bring that up to. So.
Yeah, but I can still press this anyway.
We present I Played That on French Horn with Shannon Marvel on Highland Hospital Radio.
Any excuse to play that, yeah.
I know.
You're posh.
Thanks.
Pims, goodness. No, we don't have Pims, sorry.
No, that's all right.
So there you go.
That's
There's a barbecue fail.
It's not really like if you don't like pins, you don't like pins.
We've got a cool box with a variety of soft and hard drink options.
We should bring our stool. We have an ice bucket stool.
Ah, right, thank you.
Not.
Sorry.
Come on.
It's a hospital radio setting, so, you know.
Got to use the appropriate language. Yeah, no, that was one thing that we bought last year for our summer get together that we never did. Is a stool that when you lift up the seat, it's like a ice bucket essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, burgers, yes.
Nice.
Drumsticks, yes.
Yes.
Kebabs,
Oh.
yes.
Kofta?
No,
That's
not a big
okay.
lamb, not a big
You know-
lamb. It's a chicken kebab and a sort of a sauce.
That's fine.
We're good.
Like a
Loads of
satay
buns.
kind of- oh.
Loads of buns.
Love a bun.
Please. Variety of ketchups because we've got burger relish. There's mustard.
Burger relish is so underappreciated.
Yes,
I think.
exactly.
Like it's mushed up pickles and spices.
Yeah, and it's just
In a
it's a
squeezy bottle.
one-stop shop of
Yes, please.
burger happiness.
American
Yes.
cheese.
Well, we've got cheese for you specifically because of your crazy lactose issues that we'll love to talk about on the. I love how open you are about your issues.
You
Before.
just gotta be open about your issues, and then people feel more confident of being themselves.
Do you know what, Shannon? That's the thing about you and I. We're open about our issues with each other, and hopefully that might promote people listening to feel the same.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We try.
Even though I do bully you a bit with the French horn thing, but
Yeah.
that's a separate matter.
You know, bullying is also cool to be kind.
No, I think no, I can't justify it. Right, well, we're getting towards the end of the show. Don't forget that coming up straight after this, it is, he says, frantically scrolling down the Highland Open Mic with Ross Payton. You can get in touch with us anytime, studio@hhr.scot. If you're one of the super cool podcast people, though, listen in, because there's a special email address for you, and it's just for you. We've got some unfinished business to deal with. And it is Beat Detective. Shall we just quickly run over the clues again,
Yeah.
Shannon?
Yeah,
Do you want to do it? You
yeah.
got them? Go for it.
Artist is 2 words. You better get the person that makes, alters, and fits clothing to do it quickly. Your song is 3 words. Action to perhaps get a bug out of my hair.
Thanks.
All right, you wrote it.
Listen,
I'm just
I don't know what you
specifying
mean.
in
I
different-
could get a bug in my hair,
Yeah.
but very small bug. And I wouldn't have to carry out this action to get rid of it. I'd be able to find it very easily.
There you go. But you made it easy by saying that there's also a brackets
Well,
version.
if you have the original version, there's no brackets. But if you got this person's later version, when they redid it themselves, it has brackets.
And
so
she gets proper paid for it.
exactly. So an artist, you better get that person that makes, alters, and fits clothing. That's a tailor, isn't it?
It is a
And if they're
tailor.
going to do it quickly, are they going to Taylor Swift?
I think they're going to swift
I
it.
think they are. And your song action to perhaps get that bucket. Are you going to shake it off?
I think you're going to shake
I
it
think
off.
you're going to shake it off.
Oh, what a banger.
I know,
Ah.
I'm very pleased. What a great way to end the show. Thank you so much for joining us. The podcast will be available just shortly. We're going to sit here and do the podcast before we go.
Sounds good.
If you're listening, we'll get well soon. We'll see you soon. Bye. So that was this week's show. I can breathe now.
Yeah.
And decompress.
It was a busy
Busy
couple of hours.
old show, yes.
Like, it's normally busy, but it just felt like everything was like...
It was a bit. Because the interview went so well, it ran
We
way over.
We ran over time.
Way over. But
I was
that's
like,
great. That's
that
what we
happened
want.
last week as well.
It
But
did.
You,
When-
took
well-
it better than I did.
No, when the
I
interviews,
freaked out.
when the interviews are good, you just want to let the person talk about what it is that they're here to talk about.
Exactly.
Because they're so good at it, and when somebody's really passionate about something, that's great as well, and it totally comes across. So I'll just recap. Red Chair Highland. I will put the details up on the website. It won't be soon for reasons which we will discuss.
Yeah.
But also check out our social media links because we'll no doubt tag and stuff. But
Oh, of course,
redchairhighland.scot is the website. But maybe somebody, if the whole idea is it's about people who aren't online necessarily or don't have access to it, if you know someone who falls into that position, then you could drop a message on their behalf and show them how to get in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That'd be
Make
great.
it a nice networking idea. I like it. Other things that happened in the show, of course, we had our Eurovision this or that.
Europop or Euroflop.
We'll probably have Eurovision on in the background because we're wrapping up just now because it's just gone 2 o'clock on Saturday. We're going to quickly wrap up this wee bit of extra. We're going to edit it just now here in the studio. Normally I would do this tonight, but you're coming round to mine's.
Yeah.
We're having a party.
We can't be working whilst having a party.
We can't do that.
No.
So tonight at 7.
I think our other half won't be very happy
No,
about
no.
that. So bear with us whilst we just edit the podcast.
Exactly, yeah. If we could just have a moment, please.
Yeah.
Sure, I can't get Canva to load. There was a couple of things that came up. I would just like to talk about, during our Eurovision This or That,
Yes.
we mentioned Scott Fitzgerald. And you'll like this, because this
Okay.
was me making a total mess of it at Laura and I's wedding day.
Oh no!
Right.
Oh, I love to hear these stories that I might have to deal with.
This is something to
the
be
future.
aware of, right? So it was our wedding day. We had our wedding breakfast at the hotel.
So I heard that wedding breakfast isn't actually breakfast.
No, it's the lunch.
It's the
Of
meal.
Ah, right. Yeah. Sorry. Let me
I thought people just had breakfast together.
Let me translate. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
You get married,
Yeah.
then you have a meal.
Yeah.
That's
because
the
that's
wedding
the
breakfast.
first meal, so it's the breakfast.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then you have the party afterwards.
Hell yeah.
I think. I don't wish to cast aspersions on the good people of Englandshire, but I think you do it slightly differently. You don't really have. You like have the wedding, then there's
I've
a gap.
been to one wedding.
Have you really?
Yeah, and it was my dad's. Awkward. No, I don't.
Yeah, because I don't know what the ruling is on that, but either way, the wedding breakfast, and I didn't give the full. No, I did do a speech. Sorry, because we did a few words in the evening because we only had like the nearest and dearest for the wedding breakfast.
Okay.
And then it was the big party at night with a
Oh,
live
so you
band.
invited more people out.
Oh yeah, it was like 200 people we had at night.
Whoa.
But
You're
during
famous.
no, Laura's mum and dad knew a lot of people. So the wedding breakfast was just about 23 of us, I think, which was mostly just the closest people that we really wanted to be there,
Okay. That's cute.
plus another couple. I'm not recording that. I'll tell you later. Laura can tell you about that one.
Okay.
So, my one of my best mates, Stephen, he gave a lovely wee speech, a wee toast at the beginning, had our lunch. I then gave a speech as well, as you do, as one does.
Do they?
Yes.
Ben's gonna have to do a speech. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah. This is the deal. Listen, you can do a speech if you want. It's 2025. You do what you want to do.
Nah, don't do public speaking. It's different.
Okay.
I'm not talking to people or
so-
at people.
I thought I'll try and fit in some nice words or literature, right?
Okay.
And where do you find nice words to say about your lovely wife
Music,
sitting next
poetry.
to you? You go from exactly
Yeah.
right. So Scott Fitzgerald had a song out in the 70s, I want to say, called "If I Had Words." Okay.
Right.
Now we can maybe intersperse this at some stage.
Okay.
I'm just going to quickly try and grab it again, just so I've got it in front of me. You can open your juice, it's fine. It was Yvonne Keeley and Scott Fitzgerald, "If I Had Words." Okay? And it's a really pretty song. It's got some lovely lyrics in it, right? Yeah, it's just a nice song.
Yeah.
If I had words to make a day for you, I would sing you a morning golden and new. I would make the day last for all time. Give you weeping sunshine. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Right? Trust me.
I'm getting it.
And I said that I was like, I'm struggling to find the words to describe the day. But I've found this song and I like the song, so I'll use these words. That's as
I
my
like that,
words.
yeah.
It was nice. However, Scott Fitzgerald and Yvonne Keeley had "If I Had Words" in the 70s. That song was reused for a movie later on. Okay, and they didn't just use, they used the exact same song, but they sped it up to sound like mice.
Okay.
Can you think of a movie where a sheep farmer replaces his sheepdog with a pig?
Babe.
I used the lyrics to the song from Babe to serenade my wife at our wedding.
Basically called her a pig.
Some may interpret it that way. So much like
That's not the way it was meant to be.
So
though.
much like how I say I proposed at the border viewpoint, Laura says I proposed on a lay-by, in a lay-by on the A1.
Okay.
I say that I used the lyrics to a beautiful song by Scott Fitzgerald and Yvonne Keeley to serenade her. Laura says I used the song from Babe.
Oh. I mean, you gotta have, a little bit of controversy with relationships, I guess.
Yeah. On your wedding day,
Yeah.
that's the best time to have it.
Yeah.
So there you go. My advice to you and Ben is if you choose a song, make sure it's not been used again in a movie about a sheep pig.
Yeah, we're already having to deal with that song, Dream. Things can only get better.
Why is that coming up?
Because that's like the song. That's our song.
Is that your song?
That's
is it?
our song. But obviously, there's a whole political
slight
front to it.
political connotation.
Not anymore. In
Yeah,
the
but
past,
it always will be. I think for people of a
I
certain
technically-
generation. Then, yeah.
I technically didn't even exist when that came out, so it doesn't count.
Oh, that was something that we need to discuss. When was the last time that the UK did win the Eurovision Song Contest, and were you alive? The last time was Katrina and the Waves.
I
It was
am
1997.
currently alive.
You're 1998. You were born, weren't you? So yes, you have not been alive. The UK has not won the Eurovision Song Contest in the whole time you've been alive, and I find that sad.
I love Katrina and the Waves. They were formed in Cambridge
Were they?
in 1981.
Was she Canadian or was she
I think
American?
she's Canadian. Wow, that's a noise.
I was drinking some water.
I know, but I can hear it in my headphones.
Oh.
No, don't do it! Don't do it! No! We're not doing that. Don't. You can listen to yourself. I ain't got headphones on, so.
I won't do that.
No, that's not funny. Such a tease.
Oh, something else to add to Shannon's list of things she doesn't like. I need a jingle for that, actually. You know what? I'll use that more than your French horn one. Right. Can I have a drink of water if I put the microphone down and you can talk more about
that's
Katrina
fine.
and the Waves?
Yeah, so Katrina and the Waves formed in Cambridge. My mum, when she used to work in the pub industry in Newmarket, because there isn't any other industry in Newmarket these days, I think it was the Wagon and Horses. A classic one.
Oh, I can already see the picture
it's like
outside.
There's a whole background
Yeah.
of it. King Charles II has like an underground tunnel in Newmarket where he used to go and see Nell Gwyn, and the Rutland Hotel, which is I think closed. And yeah, part of it was going into the Wagon and Horses, and Mum saw a ghost in there, all that stuff. She used to order, I think it was like a vodka and cheesy chips. So my mum knew Katrina from Katrina and the Waves.
It's two separate things, yeah, just clarifying.
I'm not judging Katrina.
I would never put vodka in my cheese sauce, but there you go. I'll try anything once.
Well, there's that pasta vodka dish, isn't there?
Pasta vodka
Yeah,
dish.
there's like a vodka pasta dish. Let me do a. This is genuine, by the way. Vodka pasta. Pasta alla vodka. That's
Oh man, they really went to town with the
penne.
naming there, eh?
it's either pasta alla vodka or it's penne alla vodka. But it's good to know.
Excuse me, I've got a question. What's the main ingredient of this pasta, please?
Pasta. Oh, that's sake. But yeah, no, my mum used to serve Katrina.
That's awesome.
I don't know if this was pre-Eurovision, post-Eurovision.
So that kind of leads into
Probably was pre.
Yeah, well, this leads into a realm of have you ever served anybody famous? If your mum has served Katrina of Katrina and the Waves, can I drop a big
Go on then.
Robbie Williams?
No way. Seriously.
True story.
I love Robbie Williams. Tell me more.
When I was a hotel manager of sorts, he stayed at the hotel when he was doing his last Murrayfield. Well, maybe not the last one, but when he was at Murrayfield either way for a couple of nights, and him and his entourage were in the hotel. I would say, and it was enough years ago, I think I can get away with. Robbie Williams was lovely. He did not
He
want
seems
any
like the
fuss made.
nicest
Yeah,
guy.
he didn't want any fuss, but the entourage he brought with him were more of a pain in the backside, including a famous movie director who I had to remove from the reception area.
Oh no. I'm trying to think when this was. This when you were made for that. Is that one was already out? That song's already out.
When was this?
You were made for
2001?
lonely man.
2001? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Somewhere
we're-
between 2001 and 2003.
Okay, cool. I'm in the presence of where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just walked around playing, it would have been Championship manager, now football manager on his computer. That's all he did. He was quite chilled.
That's quite cool.
He asked for a sandwich at like 2 a.m. because we were on the night shift, and that was it.
Nice.
I probably won't say this. I won't say this on air because he might still use the same pseudonym for when he's staying in a hotel. But they all had pseudonyms.
Oh yeah.
But you can imagine our phones rang for most of the night asking to be put through to his room.
Of course.
And you would think, yeah, we'll do that. But there was a few groupies outside in the car park as well.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird.
I can imagine it's like,
a bit weird.
we're not putting you through, like, unless
yeah,
we specified.
Yeah,
like,
sure, I'll put you through to his room. Of course I will.
I met Wayne Bridges and didn't know who he was.
Well, I don't know who he is either.
So he's a footballer, well known for a certain situation with what's his face? Is it Terry?
John Terry?
John Terry? The whole like.
Don't you go making facts now because.
No, it was. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. So John Terry was seeing his wife.
Right. Well, yes.
So this was at the Golfview Hotel in Nairn, funny enough. He kind of waltzed in. I was like, morning, how are you? He's like, good, thank you, how are you? I was like, very well. I was like, just asked you to sign in for health and safety. So
Lovely.
I had a little wander around and I'm sort of cleaning it up and whatnot. And we just got chatting because it was just me and him.
That's cool.
And he was just like, is there any decent places for golf up here? And I was like, yeah, you've got a good couple of courses. You can one next door to the hotel, one on the other side of the village. So I was saying about some of the links courses. And he was like, do you play golf? And I was like, yeah, I play golf, like, just casually. Used to be better back as a kid, but whatever. And he was like, oh, cool, I'm more from a football background. Me thinking, I don't know anything about football. It's probably Scottish football. And then the receptionist walked in at 9 o'clock as he was going out. She went, do you know who that was? And I was like, nah, but he seems like a nice chap. Wayne Bridges. But when Frankie came...
Frankie...
From the Saturdays. What? Seriously? Frankie, it's Frankie Bridge now.
The Saturdays, that's George and David. They're the Saturdays. What?
The girl group.
Oh, is this modern popular music?
Well, it's noughties, but
modern
she
popular
came
music
in and I was
thing,
like, oh my god, Frankie, I'm such a huge fan of the Saturdays. And
smooth.
yeah.
My other one is Roy Walker, who was the host of Catchphrase.
Oh, that's cool.
I was more excited about that than I was about
Did
Robbie
you ask
Williams.
him to say what you see?
No, I didn't. But
You should have. That would have been good.
It was one of these afterthoughts where I went, because his breakfast served over there, and I was like, it's not, it's over there. But I could have said you're close, but you're not quite right. But I held off.
I think he would have appreciated it.
No, I doubt it very much. I mean, these celebrities who are sort of known for these, like, particularly game show catchphrases, must be sick of it. They must hate it. It's like that episode
Stephen Mulhern's doing all right with it, though.
But that episode of Father Ted where they see Richard Wilson of Victor Meldrew fame, and he goes, I bet he would love it. I bet nobody's ever done this before. If somebody went up to him and says, I don't believe it.
Really?
Yeah, and they make a point of going up and he throws a punch at him.
Ah, okay.
Great episode of Father Ted.
Never
As they all are.
Father Ted.
As they all. Have you never watched Father Ted?
I think it was one of those shows that were banned
well,
when I was a kid. Like that, The Simpsons.
Yeah, okay.
Wasn't allowed to watch. My mum hates The Simpsons.
I'm not going to make any judgments about Miss Marvel. She's wonderful.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, I haven't met her. I feel like I know her because she messages all the time. Not me
Yeah.
personally, I'd like to say. She, by the way, going back to some previous...
She's not very well now, to be fair.
No.
Food poisoning.
Ooh.
She's like loving the weight loss, and I'm like, Mum, TMI.
Ew. Well, let's hope the barbecue doesn't lead to some of that. Your mum seems determined for this forfeit thing to happen over your error previous weeks. I see. I'm not a mean person. I can't think of nasty things to do. Whereas your mum is determined to see suffering. Basically,
You might have to like just ask her.
I might just message your mum and say, right, you decide what we're doing.
Oh, my mum danced with David Prowse.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yay.
Tell me more.
Should be cooler.
How tall is your mum?
How tall is my mum?
Because David Prowse was massive. That's how he got the
She's a bit
role.
shorter than me. What am I? 5'6". I would say she's about... No,
Wow.
she's taller than me. She's
How
like 5'7".
tall was David Prowse?
He was like 6'6".
Yeah. Ooh, how tall?
But it was like there was an event back in, I don't know whether it's Southend or Basildon, and I think it was like an opening of like a Debenhams or something like that, and my mum got to dance with David Prowse for like a marginal amount of time. I was like, Mum, you've danced with Darth Vader and you've never just like, she's so casual about it. She's like, yeah, you know, you used to live above a flat where George Best lived. And I'm just like, Mum,
Stop it. Stop this. Stop this
David
now.
Essex. You know, that's a story that keeps coming up in hospital radio.
Your mum is actually one of the coolest people I know, I think.
She's pretty cool.
But you
She's
know what?
pretty cool.
She's cool about it. That's what's
Yeah.
cool.
Should I message her being like, how many famous people?
No, she's not. Well, we'll do this. we'll save this. We need to keep the listener hanging on for more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the podcast will come up shortly, and you'll know it's come up because you're already listening to it. Because we are going to quickly edit it together, and then we are going to hit the road because my tummy is rumbling and I need to go and get the barbecue lit because I am the man. The man who shall light the barbecue.
I feel like I should be the barbecue man too.
You can listen.
We should just ignore Ben.
I think if I prevent Ben
can't
from
do a
standing,
barbecue.
what?
He can't.
But-
We went to a friend's barbecue the other week, right? And he put like chicken on the grill, but you know the whole thing of like when it stops sticking, it means it's cooked, so you can flip it over.
Okay.
He didn't do that,
Oh, ripped
and
apart.
I was just like, dude,
Mate, we're in a world where we pre-cook chicken. we're
pre-cookers.
You know,
You're like an oven barbecue 9 times out of 10, and then finish
no. I mean, like burgers and sausage, that's fine. But chicken, we've always got. Surely everybody has that fear of chicken. No.
I've been a student. Like chicken, I watched someone like fry off like a frozen chicken breast in a frying pan.
Oh no, I've done that when I was like poor. Yeah.
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 Oh well.
Well, we'll leave you with that food poisoning note. I think as a responsible, health-based podcast, always ensure your food is cooked correctly.
Yeah.
There we go.
If the juices run clear, you're good.
And a couple of minutes more.
If you wish.
Next week's show is just it's a Tom and Shannon special. We don't have a guest coming in as yet, but don't let that put you off because that just means that we have more.
We
to talk
might have
about.
a surprise guest.
A surprise guest.
You know when one just kind of goes, all right,
Yeah.
I'm in. You're
Yeah.
like, all right.
And if you ever fancy joining us here, well, you're more than welcome to. Get in touch with us. Socials at hhr.scot. If you have got a local, it doesn't even have to be local, but somebody who's benefiting health and well-being of any sort in the NHS Highland area, let us know. We do have another couple of things lined up, including our first outside broadcast live edition of the Saturday Drop-In,
Has this been-
where we're going to be the Saturday Drop-Out. I think it's going to happen. I'm going up for a site visit, and we will be live from somewhere. Top
No
secret.
way.
Can't tell you any more about it.
So excited. Yes.
But
Yes.
I think that will be happening. Hopefully it's the thing you're thinking of, and I'm not going to tell you something else, and you'll be disappointed.
Is it that one?
It's that one, yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to stay tuned for that, and yeah, we'll do our first ever live edition. Hopefully, interviewing some people and doing it live. That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we'll leave you to it. Do please get well soon if you're listening in hospital or if you're getting well and getting over some stuff. Hopefully we can help you as best we can. Stay tuned to Highland Hospital Radio, and of course like and subscribe and share the podcast.
Yeah. Share it with
Please.
your nan.
With your nan.
With your nan.
With your nan.
See you next week.
Bye.